Live. 3, 2, 1. We are live.
Good morning, Growskis. Rise and grind. It's time for another Wake and Bake session. How's everybody doing out there this morning?
Good morning.
Morning,
How is
Tara.
everyone?
Yeah, how is everyone? It's a good thing to ask since we had crazy weather roll through yesterday. And speaking of the crazy weather, Dan is missing today. Dan's internet is out.
I'm representing with the shirt.
Yeah, Dan's doing fine, but his internet is out, so he may or may not be back later. Thank you for joining us, Tara. Hope all our chat is doing fine. We had some really severe weather roll through, especially past the greenhouse. I was in emergency mode yesterday, driving to the greenhouse, following the storm there. So,
what did you think you were going to do? Hold it down as it blew away?
No. So there's some things that you can do to kind of better prepare it for the storm.
Oh.
So I was going to turn off the inflation blower that inflates the plastic. And I was going to make sure that all the vents were closed so the air couldn't blow through it.
Okay.
Right.
Because if air gets into the greenhouse, it's a problem.
Push up, yeah.
If there's a tornado and your windows are open to your house, it'll pull the roof off your house real easy. So stuff like that. I was trying to make sure that it was ready. It weathered it just fine, though. No matter, whatever it was doing was perfect.
It's good.
Sometimes it's scary like that. You're like, man, this is a large structure. And
I was worried. All the hard work you've put into it, and you guys have been busting your butt on it, and then to have all that happen, that'd have made me sick.
Come on, man, don't wreck it. We haven't even gotten to use it yet.
No, I was hoping that shit blew away, or nothing, or that it was fine. So I took 15 plants there yesterday, and I swear to you, if it had ripped off just one layer of the plastic like I thought it was going to, I was going to be so mad, because that's a bunch of extra work that we have to do. But we have insurance on the greenhouse, so if the greenhouse would have blown away, there's insurance on that plus the contents. So that wouldn't have been horrible. But yeah. The alternative.
I gotta shout my sister out. Lori got up this morning, and she got up last week too, and I missed her in the chat, and I'm sorry. She did get up again to sesh with us this morning, and she doesn't get up for anything.
I don't either. But thank you, Lori.
She really doesn't get either a job or she's coming to Michigan with me. That's the only time she gets up.
She got up for you today.
She did, and last week too. So she's been helping me a lot. So shout out to my sister Lori. Thank you.
Cheers, Lori. It was definitely cool to be able to have a sesh with her and you and everyone else rather recently. That was pretty cool, man. So.
Oh, that was awesome. That was so awesome. We had the best time because we're not used to we don't do that kind of stuff around here. So or at least if it does happen, we're not involved with it. So
right.
It's just usually if she comes over, her and I smoke, that kind of thing. But it's usually just me smoking by myself.
Yep.
She's a big fan of that Citra Glue.
Oh, she loves your Citra Glue.
Lori's always got a place in my heart.
She absolutely
somewhere in Sequence's mind is going, I'm number one. I'm number one.
I'm number two. I'm number two.
There you go. I'm the poops, baby. Before we get too deep in the conversation here, while everybody's still rolling in, we got 25 people rising and grinders with this morning. I'm going to do a couple of shout outs. I know that My Own Medicine 90 was here before the show and said that they won't be able to be here live, but they'll catch it later. So I want to say good morning to them, as well as to Rob Sager, and shout out to GB Farms. Good morning, brother.
Good morning.
Seed to Soul, Red Eye Rustler, Old Smoke. Okay. Automation is Freedom. Cheers. Good morning. As well as Keep It Real. Came back for some more. The Big Bud Shepherd. Good morning. Hagerstown 420. Good morning. Cave Diver. Big Jar Grows came through again. Miss D's Nugs always here holding it down. And then we have Ick Unsalted Life. Good morning.
That's my sister.
There we go. We got the new name showing up in the chat. So she is here for real. We will know. Good morning. As well as, is that it? Everybody's in. The ceremony's about to begin. All that good stuff. It is. Man of Wadi. Good morning. JJ Scrotus.
Just for the chat. I forgot my dab rig.
I like that, man.
In the other room.
So that's cute.
I'm going to dab out of this one for the show this morning.
Good morning, Dollar Tree grower.
I am dabbing. Select phenotype, sugarcane, Candyland.
That's been a fan favorite. That's been a fan favorite lately.
Let's take a dab of that. Love it.
Whatever.
She doesn't want to go. He said whatever. Rick Ron.
Whatever.
It is Thursday. Oh, look at Tara's got to match you now.
She's got more than I do.
And you have more than I. So there we go.
All right. That's perspective for you.
Mm-hmm.
Big Jar's got a job interview today. Hell yeah, man. Good luck.
Good job.
Get it.
Good luck, buddy.
It's not that any of us want to go back to work, but, you know, our bill collectors sure as hell want us to. Good morning, Tommy. How you doing this morning, brother? We got our 2020 crew rolling in now. Speaking of 2020, where's Norwal when we need him? He's trying to join the video call, probably completely naked or something with a mask on and shit. With a party favor. Ooh.
He must have a piece of tape over top of that or something because he hasn't been hitting it.
That's true, yeah. And then
disabled it.
Quick shout out to Instagram. They found a way to mute video messages. So if you're in a big group call like we are, you can mute the video messages. So if you have a narwhal in your group that calls you every day, that's your solution.
There's always a workaround, folks.
There didn't used to be, so I just banned them from our chat, but now it's better.
Be gone!
So we want to do some grow talking today, Skilbo. Have you done anything interesting in your grow lately? You're muted.
Bitch, it's always Thursday morning. I recently just flipped my veg to flower, and I got my lights all hung up, and I got the irrigation set up for it. I've been using the 3/8-inch soaker hose, and that hooks into a small piece of regular hose that goes to a 18-gallon reservoir that's like 4 feet above the ground, which is fine as it's gravity fed. The only problem that I'm having is that I have a leak that is at the connection point between the hose and the soaker hose. So I got to get in there and fuck with that today. But everything's been good. The lights are hung. The only thing that I've still got to figure out is how far away I need to keep the lights to keep the leaves from curling up and, you know, getting a little raised bumps on them and shit from being too close. So inch it up a little bit each day until I get it to the sweet spot.
I do mine the other way. I inch them down. But yeah, you should do just fine.
Yep, I just have to switch over to actual 12-12 now. I've tried to keep them on the 18-6 so that they have time to fill out the nets even more than they have and all that good groovy stuff. And I did break a branch yesterday, but I did also put some wood glue on it and saved it. When I checked this morning, it's not dead, so everything is...
Wood glue?
Wood glue, man.
I've never heard anyone use wood glue before.
Mm-hmm.
I use masking tape mostly.
I was out. You know, like it's the kind
is really easy to tear.
Yeah, but you know when it's like older and you go to tear it and you'll have like the 2-inch wide and you'll get these little tiny like 16th or 8th-inch strips and they're all fucked up. So I was like, well,
that's the masking tape I have at work.
The frustrating brand.
Yeah, I think they get it from Uline or somewhere cheaper.
So I'm curious about your bed, Skilbo. Does it give off any like smell through the house or anything?
Nope.
Okay. Just because of having wet dirt and that kind of situation, I wasn't sure, you know, because I'm eventually would like to, that's where I'm headed. So I'm just, you know, trying to get
some of the organic inputs do have their own, like any of the, let me see, like the oyster shell or BioLive, both of those have a very fishy smell to them. But once you mix them up in the bed, everything goes down.
Yeah, but it's not like a lingering kind of thing. No. So I think I was more worried just about the wet soil kind of smell that what I'm talking about, right?
Sure.
Okay. Just
that's why I use the soaker hose, is so that I don't have to use so much water all at once and try to like flood everything equally. I run it through the soaker hose and I barely open the drain to it, so that it's a very, very slow weep, and it just comes out and keeps it. I don't know. Seems to be working pretty good.
Okay.
I really like the system that you made with the gravity feed SCOBO and all that. We did for the greenhouse a bunch, 4 55-gallon drums with a sump pump and a watering wand for now. But it's super fast. It's nice. It's actually kind of fun. So
yeah, especially when you get the larger sump pumps that really, really kick it out. You're just trying to lay a
lot
of water
out. This one rips. When you start measuring your sump pump in fractions of horsepower, that's what you're looking for. Yeah, I think I'm at half a horsepower now. It's like 3,000 gallons an hour or something.
I do want to say cheers and good morning to Dankman Dan. He says he's got trim gloves on, so he's saying hi to each of us.
Fix your internet, Dan.
I'm representing you, Dan. I got your shirt on. You're here with us.
Love you, Dan.
Love you, Dan.
There you go.
If Dan didn't have trim gloves on, he'd be reminding everyone to like the show. So if you haven't liked the show, make sure you do that.
I haven't even done it yet.
He was our first fan that was really, really pushing everyone in the chat to always like the show and always support and share with their friends and all of that stuff. Like the first non-panel member to ever get a moderator wrench in the chat because he's a beast in that way. So thank you, Dan, for all that stuff.
Thank you, Dan. You're awesome.
Well, you talked about your room a little, SCOBO, so I'll go. And then, I don't know, maybe Tara can chat about what she's got going on over there. I'm getting ready to put some more plants into flower. 9-pound hammer, crescendo again. Shit, I wish I knew all of them. I have
OKC
sour
coming
melon.
Back?
Yeah, OKC is coming back, but I'm putting most of it into the greenhouse.
Okay. See what it'll do out there.
Yeah. Actually, I put maybe 5 OKC in the greenhouse already. I'm really, really excited. Yeah.
You can't wait for those to come down already.
I mean, you got to actually smell it and all of that stuff. Did you get to smell the orange one? The orangey one? Yes. Yeah.
That's the one we did first.
I'm super impressed by that.
Yeah. But the purple one was just like, it's not orangey, but hey, it's still really, really good.
It is really good.
But it wasn't the orange strips that you were looking for at the time. So that's one of the things is, let's say that you have, you pop some beans. Okay. So we all, let's say we have a 10-pack between the three of us of these.
Yeah. I was very much looking for a thing.
Yeah. Well, when you get down to it, we could all pop our beans. And at the end, when we all got back together and showed our keeper cuts, we might have 3 different keepers, but had the other 2 persons' keepers. It's what you wanted or what you enjoyed out of the smoke. You know what I mean? So like Jack Greenstock sent me the HSO Blue Dream seeds, right? Even though those are femmes, there is still some variance in there. Some people...
there's absolutely variance.
So instead of it just being like a very blueberry dominant haze, some people are reporting that they got mangoes and everything else out of it. So it's kind of exciting at the same time. But if you're really, really going into a pack looking for something rather than just allowing yourself to experience it and see what you enjoy, so it's one of those things about popping seeds that you get to do versus, getting a clone off of somebody.
Yeah, absolutely. And that OKC was a fem seed, like you said, and I still pheno hunted it. Mm-hmm. And you got 2 different phenos side by side, and they're completely different. Right. Totally different color, totally different flavor, totally different bud structure.
Come on, man. So fems are all the same.
Yeah. So it's still worth hunting that stuff. Citral Blue was a fem. BDE right here behind my head was a fem. Those ones were both. I've hunted 10 seeds to get Citral Blue. BDE right there, I popped 1. So I don't know. That was a lucky one.
Oh, Tara's birds are up.
But yeah, so I'm getting ready to put more plants into flower because I'm at about day 35 in flower right now for what I have already in there. So that'll put me right on schedule with, another 4 weeks, 4.5, 5 weeks for the next harvest. GMO looks like it stopped stretching, so that's good.
How tall did it end up getting for you?
It's like 8 inches taller than the rest of the plants. They probably stretched for like an extra week. So like it wasn't a nightmare, but I used a strong net, so.
I know when I went over to oh man. Hold on a second. When I went over to Doc's house, he was running GMO in his tent, and it had grown in one point above the light. So he has these side lighting panels that he got that are like super, super cheap, dude. They're like $25, right? And I mean, it literally just looks like the board with like where you would plug in an adapter to it, old school, like you were trying to plug in a Walkman or something. And so he's got it lit up. Looks great, but when he gave me the clone, he was like, "Now you want to make sure when you flip this that you definitely have a way to, keep it controlled." So when I flipped it, I made sure it was like 18 inches because first time through, I would rather it be a little bit short, and then I can get a gauge for where it is rather than overgrow the spot and then potentially fuck up my harvest on other plants as well.
For me, I do the opposite, but like I said, I have the net and I have yo-yos and stuff, so like I can really bend the plant to my will if need me. So like I wasn't afraid of GMO, but this is what I would tell people that I wish I knew before I started it, kind of like what you were saying, that GMO goes 77 days or whatever in flower. And what it seems like I experience is it starts stretching at about the same time as the rest of the plants, but it keeps going for like an extra week or so. So when people talk about the extra height that it gets, that's how it gets it, is just by stretching for longer. So it was kind of cool to watch it as all the rest of the plants stopped. It just kept on creeping up. And it's interesting to note, like, you take these 8-week strains and put it next to a strain like GMO that is intended on going longer, and the buds are different too. The GMO is obviously behind in bud growth compared to like the Citra Blue or whatever.
Sure.
That is definitely a shorter flower period. So that's really neat to see too.
Well, I know that like with the sour melon the buds don't pick up weight until you're like ready to harvest some of your other 50-day strains. Like I was taking the QAnon copper down and it was still packing on weight and still wasn't done yet.
The sour melon that I have in flower right now is going to be a monster. It's almost as big as my Citra Blue is, and it's like day 35. Right. So it's going to they're like golf ball size right now. So I'm really excited about that one this time. Maybe it'll be easier to trim. That's what I'm hoping.
Bigger buds, yeah.
I was so tired of it the first time.
Tara, I love the birds, man.
Yeah. It's helpful.
So how's your tent looking, Tara?
Well, 3 became 2. I had to get rid of one, but not all the way gone. I moved her outside, and she's actually right here next to me, Miss Bad Girl. So she's got a new name now. But she's been out here since Monday. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I haven't seen anything saying that she doesn't like it out here. I haven't seen any problems. I've had growth. The storms yesterday, I'm not sure how that will play a part. She didn't get that much water.
What size pot are you in?
A 5-gallon.
A 5, okay.
Yeah, I didn't switch anything or transplant her to a bigger thing. I just figured I'd go with what I got right now. Mm-hmm. She's so pretty though. I just could not chop her up and get rid of her. I just had to like finish it and see what happens and that kind of, I don't know. I mean, this is my first grow, so I'm still like playing around and
indoor, outdoor at the same time, jumping in with both feet first.
Well, Dan brings up a good point, Tara, in the chat.
What
Is
do you
that you're going to need to light dep your plant if it's in flower already.
I have been.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. I've been doing that. And then she's not been like completely dark, but dark. As best as I think that I can get it. But like I said, I'm not seeing any problems. So thank you, Dan. So she's out here and she's actually due to be fed today. So I'm going to see how that plays a part with the whole outdoor situation going from, because I totally screwed up her system because, I run at night, my lights. So she totally went from, so I'm not expecting much out of it, but I'm just kind of curious to see what's going to happen because she's so frosty still and looks good and leaves are nice and healthy.
And what day is it on? Day 35 or so?
See, I still don't know if I should take it from the day that I flipped to the actual lighting setting or that I saw flat.
Since you flipped to 12/12 is when we count.
So then I'm like day 33 or 34.
Okay.
Yeah. Other two girls downstairs are doing well. I'm not really seeing much changing. I think I anticipated this huge whoof.
You always do.
I'm not getting that. So I think I'm not saying I'm disappointed, but I think I was expecting something else. So that now that it's not happening, I'm kind of like, okay, what's wrong with it? What did I do wrong? Why is it not doing this? And I get that every strain's different, and but I see everybody else's plants, and it's like, why don't mine look like theirs?
Well, sometimes it's because of the size of the pot that you have it in. So, for example, there would be a huge difference if you were flowering in a 3-gallon pot versus, say, a 10 or a 15-gallon pot.
Yeah, I'm just in 5s.
Group ball. Yeah.
Should I have been in a bigger pot? I thought 5 was where you.
Because you potted for the space that you were intending to flower in, which was a smaller tent. You can put a fucking kiddie pool in a tent and fill it full of dirt and flower one plant, and if you really want to, it'll do what it's gonna do. But you definitely don't want to try to transplant it in the middle of flower from a pot into the fucking dirt outside, though. That's just asking for some kind of shock or issue like that.
No, I wouldn't do anything like that. But no, I guess I did really expect to see some big, but I think it also has to do with the fact of how I've manicured it and taken care of the pruning. And, I've definitely not let it be all sway and this and that. And it's been very, point exact of what I've taken off. And I kind of maybe think sometimes I've taken a little too much off.
Never.
But I don't know.
When I had a buddy who ran a grow store, and we used to stand in there and bullshit all the time. And I don't know how many times I've heard people come in and talk about, lollipopping and what that. He was like, bro, I'll come over. I'll come over with my scissors and I'll go through your room and you'll want to scream at me because I'm going to take off probably 200% of what you thought I was going to take, which is about 400% of what you were going to take. He said, trust me, the plant will rebound. It just depends on when you do it. But, I was the guy when I first started flowering that, I was all about, I'm going to save every single leaf because every single bud site is more bounty for me at the end. This is going to be so much better, blah, blah, blah. And all these older cats were like, Skillbo, man, you really, really want to take all that shit off. That's not getting lit up in the middle there. You got to do something. And of course, I, as a new person, you don't listen. Before I move on, though, I do want to say good morning to April as well as to Trey. Good morning, Rise and Grind. I hope that everybody is smoking right along with us. We have 43 people hanging out. What are your thoughts on not counting the first week after switching to 12/12? Jim Johnson, I don't really know. I've always looked at it like this. The number of days that the plant or the pack says it's supposed to flower is in a different situation than yours. And if you're scoping, you're definitely not going to pull it just because it says it's day 63. For example, Tara is at day 34, so ostensibly she's halfway through with her flowering. You double down on that, that's 68 days. She's probably not going to flower it that long out, you know. So I don't know.
So when you go to harvest your plants, you want to get a good look at your plants. I mean, everyone knows what your plants look like when they're done, right? You want it to look like a lot more like the leaf that's over here than the ones that are behind Scobo's head.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, his plants look like they're very healthy veg plants right there in that picture. So, like, you know that, plus you know what the trichome should look like, you know, a little bit of amber or whatever you prefer to have. But make sure it checks all of those boxes. Don't just look for an amber trichome and then have a super green plant still and harvest that.
Bro,
they said it really was harsh.
They said it was a 7-week strain. I thought I could pull it at 49 days. That's 7 times 7 is 49. What do you mean it's not done yet? This is crazy.
Yeah, and then the breeders will pull a week off of their flower time. They'll be like, yeah, all of our stuff finishes in 60 days or 63 days, but actually it's a 70-day plant. So
in the old days too, you know, say you go back 10 years ago for the black market production, a lot of people were basically just trying to run any strain. They didn't care what it was. It's running for this many days. We're chopping it. We're moving on so that we stay on course, stay on course. So a lot of those things, you know, had they been allowed to finish for an additional 7 to 10 days, may have changed in complexity and smoke as well. So you can dictate how it finishes for yourself.
If you have, oh, sorry. I was going to say, if you have a clone or 2 clones of the same plant at home, or a clone that you run after run, do it sometime. Harvest one of them a week later, and you'll see that your yield went up by 20%, and you know you have a completely different terp profile. It'll be matured a lot more. You know, it's much better. Not in all cases, but sometimes it's much better.
I want to say good morning to John Boy, to Michicalix, and Herb Growing Legal. Good morning. And the Jeffro 42069. Good morning. We got to roll it at 44 people still hanging out with us. Dro, good morning, brother.
Good morning.
So we are going to be doing an abridged show today just before we get too much further. We're going to let you in, Tara, but we just don't want people to think it's going to go for 2 hours today because Tara's got to leave early. So it's Tara's fault.
It's all my fault.
The mic is yours.
Go to work. Yeah, now I got to remember what I wanted to say. Okay, so how do I know when the stretch is done? How do I know if I'm there yet? I mean, I'm trying to learn different things to look for and that kind of thing, and I'm not sure what I'm supposed to be looking for.
This is a plant you haven't grown before. What I would do is I visually watch them now, but I used to measure them. And when I grow autos, I actually do measure the plants. So every day I'll measure the plant because that's when I choose to flip from veg to flower and my auto flowers. So I'll measure when they stop growing vertically, and then I'll know when they stop stretching. But then when they're flowering, they'll still grow vertically just a little.
I did measure, and I have been measuring. And I have only gained about 1.5 inches over the past 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. And I feel like that should be more.
Well, but
you're probably
day
done
35. You're done. Yeah, you're done.
Huh?
Usually by week 3 or week 4, the plant is done stretching. You know, completely.
But it should have been stretching until day 21 or 22.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But maybe the way I have it tied down is also maybe why I can't.
100%.
Well, and there's also the distance from the light to the top of the canopy. You know what I mean? Okay. I don't know how far away you are from that as well.
Yeah, I have to check that. I can't remember. I've got it written down. But yeah, I don't know. I guess I just expected. I've just still been expecting them to be really big and that. But then again, I don't know. We've never grown this plant either, so who knows what it's gonna look like? I don't know.
You know what sucks, and I always feel is a danger to new growers is, especially in your instance where you've popped a pack and you're going to be able to take it from beginning to end. The next time that you try to pop a pack and it's something different, you have to really be mindful not to try to hold it to the same standards of exactly what your plant just did in the past versus what this one's doing.
I've already found that with the 3 clones that I brought home. So the Crescendo, the Abolished OG, and GMO I have. Obviously 3 different plants, 3 different stages of growth. One is in cocoa, and the other 2 are in soil. So I got definitely notebooks for those 3. So just to keep it all straight right now, because I don't want to mess anything up and I want it to be right. And so, but yeah, there is a huge difference because like when I was looking at them, I was like, well, this isn't doing what these were doing at all. And so I did have to kind of say, stop it. And let's start from the beginning and just, this is its own entity and go with it from there. And it's very interesting how different each one is and each structure, and all 3 are crazy different, way different.
If the crescendo manages to die, and I have a lot more of those, don't worry.
I hope it doesn't die. It's not prospering as much as the other 2, but my point with that one is that one's in cocoa, and I'm not familiar with the cocoa yet at all. So watering, I'm juggling that because my sister's got them. So me trying to figure out and tell her. But my other thing is I think I need to start feeding it, and I haven't been, and I didn't realize that. So
yeah, so the cocoa doesn't have any nutrients, so
I'm learning. So
yeah,
obviously I have food for it, so I got to drop it off to her today. So it'll get fed today.
I have a question for you, Tara. How are you guys checking pH on your solutions? Do you guys have drops? Or are you using a pen, or what's going on?
I got my blue meter.
Okay, blue meter, good.
Yeah, Mr.
Just
Chuck,
make sure that you guys are calibrating that as well. Don't just, you know what I mean? You can't use them for months.
He does it for me because I had it all out of whack and my solution had dried up, and
nope. Ooh, yeah.
I took it to Mr. Chuck and he fixed me up. And shout out Mr. Chuck, get the bubbling bucket. He's always holding my hand. I asked him the other day, I was like, can you hold my hand? He goes, no, now stop it and you can do this.
Gotta believe in yourself.
Pretty cool though. It's nice to, like, I learned to grow from someone, so I had someone there to give me advice, right or wrong, every step of the way when I started. So it's nice.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I've asked him to come over. I've been like, I'm just right around the corner. I'll drive you. You can just come on over and check this out. He's like, no, you're doing this.
Yep.
Back when I started, people would take a fan leaf into the grow store and be like, hey, what's this problem? You know?
Get out.
Like, holy shit.
You want to do the Arnold Schwarzenegger voice? Get to the chopper. Get out.
It's like, that right there, sir, is spider mites, and you're banned.
You just infested my entire... Well, I mean, when you go to the... You know, people always say, well, you know, when you go to the High Times Cup or whatever, you really should make sure that you don't go into your room when you come home. Well, the same goes true for the fucking grow stores. People don't go to the grow store because, like, they're just hanging out. A lot of times they're, like, milling around looking for some kind of crazy pest protection, or you know what I mean? So who knows what is creepy crawling around in your grow store. I'm not trying to be an asshole to anybody. I'm just telling you to be mindful. Don't run right home with the bags and run up in the room and start mixing concoctions like it's Dexter's Laboratory and shit in your house. You know, you might want to...
And we talk about it though, like people talk about how they sometimes will get fungus gnats and stuff from their soil, but you know, the guy with mites and the guy with PM is the same guy that's holding the bottle of Advance that you just bought to take home, or, you know, whatever else. So definitely be mindful of that stuff. And a lot of people store their bottles right next to their grow room, or under their grow room, or in the same closet as their grow tent, or whatever. So
I periodically spray mine with alcohol. I don't know if that does anything, but that's just what I do.
Probably your first time back from the grocery store, it's at least a good practice to give it a visual look over and make sure that everything is cleaned off.
Oh, and I never put it in, it stays in the garage or in a separate area. It's never, and I always change my clothes, my shoes, everything. I don't have bugs now, and I don't want any.
Well, yeah, you know, you still have you did have a virgin grow space, but now it's been deflowered. You brought clones in there, and you know,
it's definitely got her cherry popped.
See, there you go. Good morning, Rise and Grind. I hope everybody is hanging out and enjoying the conversation so far with us. We have 51 people. Lost Coast, good morning. I see you.
Oh man, Abolished is up.
No, good morning.
Holy shit! I just saw that.
Goodness, hell froze over.
Morning.
So
FLF.
Cave Diver said that he got switched to soil and got fungus gnats, but kicked them really quick. Got rid of them easy thanks to us. So cool. That's good to hear. If you don't mind saying, what did you do?
Stopped overwatering.
Automation says SF nematodes work great for fungus gnats. Cave diver also used nematodes. Good call.
Ninja toads.
Ninja toads.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Toads. Is that dab time yet, Sequence? Is that what you're saying?
I dabbed earlier with I'll dab again. I'll dab
Me too.
again. This is the rig I'm dabbing out of today, guys.
I like that, man. That's like my lung size.
The only problem with this one is you can't take the bowl out. This is all one-piece unit.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy as shit. Well, I mean, if it's supposed to be worn around the neck or something, isn't it? Like small ones.
It's like some Wish.com looking shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't know it's something that someone would intentionally buy. I had this gifted to me, but I love the novelty of smoking this on the air.
Yeah.
It's cute.
It works fine.
Cute.
It works fine.
Is it cute with a Q? Cute. Like with a Q? Cute.
Cutie cute.
I like the banger that Tara has because it's so tall. It's a little narrow, but it's tall, and that helps.
Yeah, that's a really slick piece.
Yeah, it's a pain in the butt to clean now.
They all are.
This one really is because of all of these little thingies. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You can just soak that. That's all you can do.
Yeah, that's all I do.
Yeah, I just fill the inside of mine with alcohol for about an hour, and it's clean.
I buy that resolution stuff too.
Cave Diver says he's got the same one that you do, Sequence, but his bowl comes out and he's taking it to the golf course with him today. Cheers, Cave Diver.
He didn't get his from Wish. He must have got it
He got the real one, right? Yeah.
Some knockoff of Wish.
Ooh, what would a knockoff of Wish be? Jesus. It's like scraping the bottom of the bucket with the sign with our finger on the corners.
Like hope.org.
.org makes it legit though, bro. It's got to be good, man. It's like support it.
I've never heard of that product that you mentioned, Tara. Do you have it around or no? Resolution, you said it was called? I'm asking you questions while you dab and cough.
No, but see, she was professional. She muted before she did it so she didn't cough. And then you asked her a fucking question when she's got a lung full, so she's trying to be polite and not die.
It's out of Colorado. I don't have any. I'm out. But it comes in like this like bag stuff, and you just pour a little bit of the solution in there. It's like this bluey stuff. It works great.
Damn, this stuff.
But I get like the I'm on their like program, so like my filters, it gets sent to me every so often when I need it. It is a bit pricey, but I don't buy that much, and I can justify. I can like say, oh, I don't need any this month and skip.
How to clean a bong.
I don't know why it's so hard to find the ingredients.
There should be an MSDS on it. Or is it proprietary?
Weird. I just want to know what it's made out of. So the glass cleaner stuff I have is made out of kelp.
That's the one that really surprised me, was that it was kelp.
I've never seen what it's made out of. Yeah. I didn't pay attention to that.
There it is.
This is the one that I use. So I can read you these ingredients. This is made in Canada. Hold on, let me find the ingredients.
I've never seen that either.
Non-chlorinated water, karanja oil, coconut extract, kelp extract, and sugarcane extract. That's it.
Interesting point about the karanja is that's also an IPM. I would not use that on my plants. Just let me put that out there as quick.
Well, apparently you can put this in your bong water and it'll keep it clean. It'll keep like your rig from gunking up.
Isn't that MI No-Till guy and Canna Kitten that?
Yeah, they turned me on to that. Yeah, and this stuff works great. Great. I don't
see much Chaz your way these days, man.
If you're not into Amazoning, products, it's like $16 or whatever. ISO works really good, but it is nothing like this. This is like ISO times 5. It takes a little getting used to though. It took me like a week to learn how to like use it good.
I'll have to check that out.
Jeffro. Okay. Greenhouse survived for fresh cut. Awesome. We know what's up with that then.
Yeah.
You made it.
That was a long day for a lot of people yesterday. A lot of the cities around me, there was tornadoes and stuff. So
they actually see them?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
North of my town, near where my boss works, they lost power and a tornado hit down over there.
Well, that's the first thing you concern yourself with is like power loss. As like a grower, you don't think about your roof getting ripped off, but you think about, man, I hope I don't lose power. And if I do, it's time for that Skilbo PSA. If you're not doing it yet, you haven't thought about it, you might want to consider getting some kind of backup generator or way to run power.
Dude.
Remember,
Fresh Cut was telling me yesterday, he goes, I got the trick. He goes, you never want to lose power, just buy a generator. Because your lights will flicker, but you never lose power because you bought a generator, so you'll never need it again.
Wasn't it right around 1 year ago today that you went like almost a week without power, though?
Yes.
Remember that fucking nightmare? And you couldn't rent a generator anywhere because everybody had lost power. So all of you that think that you're going to run out and rent a generator, don't bank on that, man. Because if you lose it all over the place, you're I don't know, man.
How did you run everything? What'd you end up doing?
Ran a dark cycle.
It wasn't a week. It was about 3.5 days. And right when I hooked the generator up to turn the lights on, the generator ran for like less than 5 minutes and they turned my power on.
Didn't you have to go like 2 or 3 cities away to source that too?
Yeah, it took like half a day to do the generator, and within 5 minutes of plugging it in and turning it on, I had power.
You know what? Your garden was just testing you. Do you really love me?
I did not get any herms. I was over 1.5 pounds for the light, I think. Not too bad for 600 watts. It worked out. It was lucky though. I was real stressed.
Shout out Smiley's. He's awake and in chat. Good morning, Smiley's Garden. Thanks for getting up.
Morning, brother.
Morning, Smiley. I mean, morning to everyone, all the usual people we see in chat. Skibbo's been reading the names off, but we definitely have morning crew that
we have 58 people, man,
that we don't see in our other shows. So shout out to those guys. If you get the chance, check out our other shows. We do some really, really cool content. It's probably really late at night or really early in the morning somewhere else in the world there for you guys. But
the thing that Red and I love is if we stream long enough on the late sesh, we end up being somebody else's wake and bake. So it's like the cycle of life for this whole thing. You know what I mean? Somebody's dropping off because like the other day we ran for 3 hours. And it was funny. Our numbers were like, we got up to like 60 and then it dropped down to like 50 at midnight, because people are going to bed at midnight. And then we picked some more people up, and it dropped down again when it turned, 1 o'clock. So you're doing that, and then it's like, hey, our friends from Australia are awake. They jump in the chat. Good mornings. I don't know. It's better than like what we're doing right now. Is instead of you guys smoking alone, you solo stoners out there that are grinding early. It's cool to be able to sit down and have a conversation in the chat, or just be entertained with our goofy shit. Either way works. Either way, it's much love.
Noel says it's 11:44 a.m. in the UK. So it's almost afternoon there.
Yeah.
Interesting.
5+.
So my feeding schedule for my plants looks like it should be decreasing. Probably my next feed, which will probably be in about 3 or 4 days. And I really don't feel like I should. Why should I be decreasing it already when it's not really that big? See, and I guess I'm going back to it's not that big kind of thing yet. And I mean, I know that it should be like packing on weight and stuff, but
you want to focus on your plant's age, because your plant's only going to live a certain length of time. Whether it's a foot tall or 10 feet tall, it will only exist for the same amount of flower time. So that's what really determines your nutrient schedule. if you're around day 35, then it's not necessarily unwise to keep giving it nutrients, because a lot of people will start bulking their plants at that time. But you do want to taper off after like another week or so, and then start flushing your last 2 weeks. So, you know, whatever you think you're going to be going or finishing flower, you know, try to.
I mean, time wise, I'm looking at possibly the middle of July, if, you know, runs true to days. But I don't know.
Right.
I just thought it was odd because, you know, looking at the way that the plan is written out and that, and, you know, it looks like I did, you know, obviously I've increased, and then I've done like 2 big feedings of not feed, but a bulkier, more, I guess. And now it's wanting me to start tapering down. So I don't know. I just didn't expect it to start tapering down yet because I still feel like there's a lot of time left.
You know, while we're doing this, I do want to point out, I'm going to say, I would say good afternoon to Hash, because it is 1:45 in Cyprus, and that is awesome. Yeah, man. We also have Thomas Berman is updating and telling us it's Sweden. It's 12:45, and I love this.
Thank you, Dro.
When I was in school, we had someone from Cyprus come in and give us like an assembly or a talk. It was like just in our classrooms. It was just like a talk about Cyprus, their culture and stuff. Just a really short thing. And we got to eat candy from there, and that was really, really good shit. That's all I know about Cyprus, but you guys got good candy there, dude. I don't remember anything they told me about your culture. That's really
just
disappointing.
Remember the candy as a little kid, right?
I remember the candy, though, yeah.
Cheers, Durban Research.
But you remembered something. That's a plus. The way I look at it, as long as
my association is that I like Cyprus, so that's cool, you know. Right. Like I don't have any bad things. Yeah.
I have friends that always order the Japanese candy, you know, like they get the big box and it's just got all kinds of weird shit in it. So
yeah, that's good stuff.
Yeah, that's my association with that. It's like, oh, Japanese have really, really good candy, like crazy stuff.
They really do. I think everywhere probably does. If you try to get a box of candy from the United States, you could probably get good stuff too. You could just get a U-Haul truck full of garbage.
Back it up to your garage.
Have yard sales started back up with you guys yet?
Yeah, I saw some even through the quarantine.
We just had our first yard sale. I was so excited. And I usually hate yard sales. I don't like buying other people's shit. But I freaking was the first person out of that car the other day wanting to get at that yard sale.
Buy my crap.
I don't do yard sales because I don't have patience. So I don't have the patience.
I think I just wanted to talk to people. I was just like, hey, how you doing? Let's go talk.
I can see that.
Quick trivia quiz. Who out there has gone to a yard sale or a garage sale and seen grow lights?
I haven't, but I was just thinking about that. I thought you were going to say who's been to a flea market.
Bro, of course. Of course. I grew up.
So do flea markets still exist? I mean,
no, really. The last one that I knew of was, well, I think there still are a few. We used to always go to Gibraltar Trade Center, which is in Mount Clemens. And we also used to go to Armada. Armada has like more of the fresh produce and stuff like that, which is cool.
I could never understand as a child why people would go to something called a flea market. And now that I'm an adult, I can't believe that something got the name, culturally of flea market and people still went, you know what I mean? Like marketing wise.
Simpler times, bro. People weren't
it's like, holy hell. It's like, let's go chill at the Bedbug Plaza.
Bedbugs. It's the Michigan national insect, besides mosquitoes. Damn, this is good shit. I am smoking a weird salad this morning that is sour melon with headlights, Keweenaw copper, and a little bit of CBG. It's the classic. It's the sequence, basically the board scraping, like that style of salad. It makes for some weird combinations.
It's always fun when I'm rolling joints because I always grind up too much. So I just keep smashing this to the side until I have enough, and then I'll have, a joint that's, 3 really good strains next to each other, and that'll usually lay out a newcomer if they come around.
Yeah, instead of calling this a salad, I think I'm going to call it a fruit cocktail this time.
It's good stuff. I need more strains that are in like the berry department. I'm excited to put this 9-pound into flower because of that. That 9-pound's got a really, really sweet berry flavor.
Dan's Primal Punch is very fruity, very the Divine Storm is too. Can't wait to get my hands on that again, Dan.
Dan was telling us this morning, he goes, next time we see each other, you're going to get to try the Divine Storm. So I'm excited.
Exactly. Because
So
I have not had that yet.
Yeah. I've got so much stuff to share with you guys. Hopefully we get to see each other again someday.
Listen, we have less than 60 days until the grow off meetup.
Yes, sir.
Like when week 2 of flower of that, we're working our way towards it. You know what I mean?
Automation is Freedom says, have a great day, everyone. Awesome panel and chat as usual. Finishing up his setup today in an auto tent. Home Depot, here I come. I just wanted to say, Home Depot, I hate that place, dude. I've been there so much. And it's terrible.
Terrible.
Dirty Quirty says 4 a.m. grow show. He must be way west, huh?
Yeah.
Like that's Cali hours.
That's early.
It's a little early to be watching in California. Or late, I guess.
They just got off. If that basically is when Eagle goes off the air, he's doing 4 hours and 52-minute shows. So you can switch right from one to the other sometimes.
Yeah, there's sometimes that, like the other night, I went from the late sesh, fell asleep a little bit, woke up, and Eagle was still on. Then it was time to get up.
Yeah, just all night long, you know what I mean?
I have to watch myself because I sometimes bust out laughing at stuff, and people are sleeping, which I should be doing, because it's that time.
You don't sleep that much.
No. Couple hours here or there. You can sleep when you're dead.
Not today.
Right, there's things to do.
Well, you got to go to work.
I do have to go to work. Thanks for reminding me. I would have forgot about that.
I know.
That's what I tend to do with you guys in the morning, get in that chat, and then I'm sitting there, not dressed, ready for work. Then I got to fly around. It's a good thing.
I got that Cook's timer stuff in my head. That's why I always know when it's like, I'll look at my, phone or something during one of the Bro Show live Sunday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I'll say, we've got to be close. And then we'll be like, 12 minutes from the end of the show. That way we can, wrap things up in an orderly fashion and things like that. Oh. Sequence, you got to work today too, right?
Yeah. My last day of the week, though.
Shit, there you go.
Yeah, our schedule now, I work 3 days a week, and we're set up so that me and my assistant, or whatever the fuck you would call her, are we both always have 3-day weekends, at least 3-day weekends. So that's cool. So every week works out as a 3-day weekend for me. Is there anything else you want to chat about in here, Scobo, before we get out of this?
I just want everybody to basically have a safe weekend. And to there we go.
Looking nice.
See, she doesn't look bad.
Not at all. Just gonna put the weight on. That's gonna all see that arm to the left that's hanging out there. That's gonna all be one bud, and it's gonna get really, really fat.
That's what I'm hoping.
you might end up having to tie that thing to one of your bamboos or it's going to fall over.
Yeah, I figured I would have to do that too. But
look at you, got a big smile on your face. The plants make you happy.
Always,
Gardening,
I
you know
love
what
it.
I mean?
Yeah.
Get your energy going.
I mean, at this point, I've made it this far, and it's supposed to start dying here soon, so I've kept it alive that long.
Dollar Tree grower said that's a nice bush.
Thank you.
Oh, do we have any late people here that I haven't had a chance to shout out and tell them to have a good day? Oh, well, there we go right there. My very dear friend, Stabby McStabwood. What's going on, brother? Good morning.
Always good to see you, Stabby.
Good morning.
He was lurking earlier.
Before we get out of here, I want to do the thing that I never do, a little promotional stuff. If you guys get a chance, check out our merch store. We pay for it, but we don't ever shout it out, so not a lot of people use it. mbgs.live is where you can get our shirts and stuff like that. And then if you're feeling real frisky, we have Patreon at patreon.com/mbgs.
Good morning, Honey Bear Casey. Sorrel, how you doing this morning?
Morning, Honey Bear. Right. He's up in the UP, I think.
There is a question before we go from our friend from Cyprus. Ash wants to know, he says, I am a new subscriber. Is this channel based as a quote-unquote product promotion or pro growers spreading and sharing knowledge style? I don't know about pro, but we are all growers. We're not trying to push anything other than just community. I'll just do this real quick. Sequence and I started the show over a year ago, originally as a podcast. And last year, to celebrate 710, we started doing the Bro Show live. So we got into the live chat thing because it's all been about community for us. We just wanted to tap in, shine a light on Michigan, and say, hey, look, there's all kinds of good companies and people and everything else. So make sure that you go back and check out all of our previous podcasts and live streams. And if you have any other questions, don't hesitate to message us on Instagram, the Mish Bros Grow Show.
Stabby says they don't call him Shilbo for nothing.
That's right, baby. I got the voice for it, though. I just, the wrong channel frequency. I need to be more professional and less lackadaisical.
Holy shit, that's funny.
And I'm just the stalker from Ohio that got so lucky that these guys have adopted me. So my first grow, and these guys are the best. Everybody that is affiliated with the show is just phenomenal, and
we're just all friends is what it is. You know what I mean? So we don't just meet up.
I mean, I don't know how many times I tell somebody how giving you guys are. I don't know. We don't have people like that in Ohio. So
we formulated the show, like Scobo said, to be inclusive of everyone, all of the grow styles intentionally. So Scobo grows in beds. I grow in 3-gallon automated cocoa pots with salts. He grows with top-dressed organic amendments and, leaves and shit. Abolish waters from the bottom. I water from the top.
Spartan too. Sips. Yep.
Spartan does too. So we're all doing different things. We all have different opinions. So what we can do is ask these cool questions like, how do you do whatever to your plant, and answer it from 5 different perspectives. Then
earlier in the show, we did that.
Yep. And then all of the viewers get to go, okay, that's what somebody does in this situation. Here's what Sequence does. I grow in cocoa too. Maybe I'll take his advice or whatever. And they can get educated, answers rather than just going to one person and knowing what one person knows. That's what really the show is good for, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And my thing is I'm not a great grower. I'm just really good at asking questions of people usually, because I try to ask the simple questions. If you come into the show and you start using a bunch of terms like scrog and sog and everything else, wait a minute, man, hold on. You have to break that down for people because we're all growing together. None of us just sprang from the womb as great growers. Somebody has taught you something. So share that information that was shared with you. That's our whole thing.
Very thankful for you guys. Very thankful.
There we go. So is there any late comers here? There we go. It's good morning, Small Tubes. And Kaiser. So there we go.
All right, guys, we got to get out of here.
Time to go to work.
Gotta go to work.
Grind.
Tara, where can everyone find you?
Tara Wilson 1409 on Instagram. I have some stuff on YouTube. It's the same, Tara Wilson 1409. Just loving doing this right now, and I'm very, very thankful for you guys, and I'm thankful that chat got up and shared time with us this morning. I really appreciate you guys, and this is so much fun, and I never in a million years thought I'd ever do something like this, and this is truly a learning experience for me, and I'm very fortunate, and I really love you guys. Thank you, and I hope you have a great day.
Thank you very much, Tara. Cave Diver says my grows would be shit without you guys. That's like the best compliment ever. I really appreciate hearing stuff like that. Skilbo, where can everyone find you, dude?
Skilbo1 on Instagram, Skilbo17 on YouTube. I want to give a couple of late good mornings before we sign off, since it's my last time with the mic here. Who did I see? B-Bear7, good morning. As well as came down Skunky Pockets, good morning. The Jeffro, good morning. I mean, what more can you ask for? Everybody has rose and everybody has groaned. Now it's time to go.
Thank you guys for joining us again. We'll be back next week. Check out all the shows. I'm the only person that can't remember them.
I will do it. So Sunday nights at 9, we are doing the Bro Show live, Eastern Standard Time, Michigan Bros Grow Show channel. Monday nights, it is the late sesh at 11 p.m. until whenever, me and Red. And then you can also come on back for this third helping. If you didn't catch us in the beginning, we start at 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for Rise and Grind with the Growskis.
Missed you, Dan.
We missed you, Dan.
Later, guys.
Take care.
Wink for narwhal.